Good morning, everyone. It's Maggie, and welcome to part 3 of my video series, Making a Fabric Book. And um, I want to get started right away because I want to finishing up the pages, and that way there we can get to the fun stuff. So let me put this aside. And I already picked out the 3 trims to finish the pages off. And as I said in part 2, I cut off the ends of this and I am going to put it down on this one. I'm going to use hot glue so it'll go much faster. Let me just find the correct side. Okay, it's this way. Get those out of the way. And let's just get to it. All right. So it's going to end up looking like that, and that will finish it right off. So it's Sunday. Well, actually, I said good morning, but it's not morning anymore. It's a little after 1 in the afternoon here. But I got a late start, so it still feels like morning to me. I did some Christmas shopping yesterday, and it was a huge outdoor mall. My daughter and I went, and the first thing we did was there's a little cafe that it's an out. I think, did I just say it's an outdoor mall? No, I forget. But anyways, there's a cafe, and she loves their cappuccino and chocolate croissants. And so, but it was lunchtime, so we ended up having a sandwich for lunch, and then she had her chocolate croissant, but I was full. And then we went shopping, and it was so crazy. I just have a hard time dealing with the crowds, and I found 2 gifts, and that was it. So, but we had fun. And then there's a Whole Foods right there as part of the mall. And so we went in there and I grabbed a few fruits and vegetables for the week. And then what did we do? Oh, then we hit the regular grocery store so that she could take it easy today and do what she needs to do at her place. And I could do this. Oh, and just as she had found more than I did. So we went back to the car to put packages in the back. And just as we were coming off the elevator to go back outside, the fire alarms went off. And oh my gosh, it was so loud. I think we were lucky that they went off just as the elevator door opened, because I'm not sure if we would have been stuck in there or not. If I don't know what they do in that kind of a case, if the elevator shut down or what happens. But and they were continuous for a good almost a half an hour, and the fire department didn't even come for almost 20 minutes. So I'm assuming they might have been called and said this isn't an emergency. Either somebody pulled the alarm or it was, I don't think it would have been a drill or anything, because I think the fire department would have been there. But anyways, it was the loudest alarm that I've ever heard. So yeah, it was interesting yesterday. It was nice to get out. We had some rain, but it was more of a drizzle than anything, so it wasn't bad. And it was 60 degrees, and now today it's like 45, and we're supposed to get snow again on Tuesday. This is why everybody gets so sick at this time of the year, because we always have a couple of days where it just warms right up in December, and then everybody gets sick and then it gets cold again. So almost done with this page. My granddaughter's at our basketball game, but Mason decided to stay home. So he's upstairs, my grandson, and he's probably playing video games with his best friend. And I've got football on my TV in the background, but I'm not watching it. Because I feel like if I do, my blood pressure is going to go up. Because I take that game way too seriously. So I'm trying to keep my mind on crafting, on the crafting. So that wasn't too bad, like 5 minutes, I think. Let's cut this off. I'll put that over there in my scrap pile because I don't throw anything away until it's so tiny that I can't do anything with it. All right, so that's those 2 pages. All right, let's get to the middle 2, and then we have 2 more. And as I said, I've already picked out what I want to use. I have 2 more, but I just want to check to see what I'd rather, which looks better. You know, that kind of gets lost, so I'm going to use this one. And this is a trim from the Crafty Me shop. I think it came in my, excuse me, I think it came in my DT kit. So that's going to finish this up. Because of the weird angles, I needed something a little wider to finish it off. So I think this will be perfect. So let's get this going and make sure I'm on the right side, which I am. Okay. Just put a little down till I can tell where it's going to go. All right, so I want it to go in between. Oh, if you hear that noise, that's the dryer. I can never tell with my microphone what you can hear and what you can't hear. And I will probably be embellishing this, but I'm not going to do that until almost done with not almost done with the book, but done with the pages. All right, so this is another one that we're going to cut. Because I don't want to fold it over. That won't look right. I think it's almost time for a new pair of cutting scissors. Because, of course, I made the mistake of using them on my paper, too. So, all right, so we get that there. And again, make sure I get the right, yep, that's it, okay. So we're going to start like this. So let's just put this down first. I don't think I was in camera range for that one, but that's okay. So I wonder how many of you are really good at getting your Christmas shopping done early. Well, and this wouldn't even really be early, would it? I think there's like 10 or 11 days till Christmas. But I do have some things on order, so it's not like I haven't done anything. I just don't know when I'll be actually done. I never know until I say, okay, enough is enough. And it's all about the grandkids, so of course it's, you wait to see what, they tell you they want. Now with Maddie turning 14, it's basically just clothes and gives her clothes and gift certificates, unless she says something specific. I usually just do the gift certificate and then say, you go get what you want, because if we go shopping together and I say, oh, isn't this cute? Nope. So obviously with the age difference, we have much different tastes. So I wouldn't even presume to try to pick something out for her. And Mason, he's still 12, so he's still kind of in that between, not little kids' toys, but video games and those Nerf gun things, whatever they are. But he also usually picks out a couple of science type of things too. Because he does like science. Okay. Let's stop that one right there. I think we're doing pretty good here. Now just the bottom, and then we'll just have those other 2 pages. And I know a couple of you said it's not boring, but I mean, it really is. But, I really wanted to do this start to finish, a true, start to finish. I didn't want to skip anything. And if you decide to make one, or you are making one, then you're going to see it's not really boring. It's just boring to watch. It's not boring to do. But I mean, making a fabric book is one of my favorite things. Fabric books, doily books, wall hangings. Those are my 3 favorite things when I'm using fabric or doilies. Trims. And some of you know I'm trying my hand at journaling, junk journaling, regular journals, and I'm enjoying that too. It's a nice break when I've finished like a major project like this. It's just a nice break to do something completely different. And then my next thing after the holidays, hopefully, will be trying to do some mixed media too, because I have so many mixed media supplies that I've never even used, that I've got within the last year from a couple of D-stashes. So I'd like to try those. All right, so there's those 2. And now the last 2, and then we can go back to the front cover and do a little bit on that. Okay, now I'm going to use this. Now, this trim here had this attached to it. So it was like this. but I took it off because I don't want this, because then that's going to be finished off. So I did cut it beforehand, only because you don't need it took me over 5 minutes to cut it, and that's 5 minutes that I didn't want to spend on camera doing that and having you have to watch that. So, all right, I just want to make sure this is on the right side. And actually, I think I want the that little fringe at the bottom to go the other way. All right, so let's get going on this so we can get to that cover and do a little bit on that before I end this part. So you just run the glue right up where you want to cover it. Now let's see if this one I want to cut the corners too, or if I can just kind of go around it. I think I might be able to just kind of go around it. Yes, I can. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to need a new glue stick. So we're supposed to get more snow on Tuesday now, but they don't say how much, at least not yet anyway. And it's always interesting to find out if we're going to have a white Christmas, because believe it or not, all the snow we sometimes get in a season. I mean, last year we hardly got any snow. I don't think we got more than like 1.5 foot total for the whole season. And then some years we get, like several feet total. But it's always interesting to see if we're going to have a white Christmas or not. And of course, that depends on the temperatures. I think we've had a lot of rain. I know that. And only two snows. Well, I don't know if the second one was a snowstorm. We really didn't get that much added on. So let's say one good snowstorm so far. Oh, I didn't get all of that off there. That will bug me. So let's get that off. There. And once the holidays are over and the series is over, what I might do is do a tutorial on how I take some trims and completely change them so that they're used in a different way. Like I kind of did with this, and I've done with a couple others. Because I just think that's fun to do. I mean, you can't do it with every trim, but there are certain trims, if you look closely, you realize what you can do to change it up a little bit, and that's always fun to do. And then you get to use it when normally, if the original way doesn't really work for you, but you still get to use it. And you might, before the series is over, see how I might get stuck on something and have to put it aside for a while, like I did my last book when I think I was on live and I was working middle 2 pages and one page just really frustrated me, so I had to leave it, go to a different page. And then I was able to finish the other one. And when you do that, I think you always like the results a lot better than if you had tried to force it, because you don't want to do that. It's a little stuck from the glue. There we go. All right. So we're done with the boring part for you watching. Like I said, it's not boring to do, just to watch. All right. So let's go back to the cover. And let me just stretch that out a little bit. So I took some things out. One of them, this is also from my design team package from Crafty Me Shop. And this is so beautiful. I'm gonna cut it up. And this trim is also from there. And it's gonna be perfect because I'm gonna use it to do a little frame. But the one thing you wanna do is, and I don't always follow this rule, I try to, but I don't always, is you want to try to get everything on there before you actually glue it down, because you never know when you're going to change your mind and something isn't going to work. So let me find the other end, because I think what I want to do is I'm going to do it on this side. So I want to do this. Oh, and I did cut it down. Okay. And that I want to kind of half frame it maybe this way, and then use some of these pieces. So the thing is, let me see. Okay, each one's, and this is a good example too. All the beads, the seed beads in that are hand sewn onto the applique. You can see here the sewing. And if you cut it, you're going to lose those beads. Now, the nice thing about this one is that each one is individually sewn. So you can cut one off without worrying about cutting the thread to the beads. They're not all like that. Some of them it will continue to hand stitch, and then they'll bring the thread over and hand stitch over here. So you have to glue the back, but this is a nice example of what you don't have to do. So let's cut this one off. Okay, and then we're gonna just fussy cut it a little bit. You don't have to do it a lot because this netting gets pretty well hitting, but I try to get as close as I can to it. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it is super windy out. I mean, super. Just a little bit down here. All right. I mean, if you're a fussy cutter, you could go right almost up to the threads of the embroidery, but I'm not that. Maybe I should take the time to do that, because going around the frame, it might show. So I will go a little closer. but you want to make sure you don't cut the embroidery part. Excuse me. Okay, it's pretty close. All right, now let's get the end of this stem here. And I apologize for going off camera, but I just don't want it to get the pieces that I'm trying to get off embedded in the page here. Okay, so to me, this looks like a good corner piece, like right there. And then let's see what, this is too big. This is definitely too big. Now let me see on the back here. I want to just cut some of this part. And what is, all right, see, so here's an example. Oh, no, it isn't. I thought that thread went across, but it doesn't. And there's no, all right, so let's cut this little piece. And just be careful going in between. And let's see, oh, we're almost at a half an hour already. Let's see how, maybe I'll go a little bit over the 30 minutes, but I don't want to go too much over. All right. So it's fussy cutting around. And this isn't really hard to do either. You just, I mean, it's really, this netting is so easy to cut. You just want to make sure, like I said, that you don't cut those embroidered threads. And there's no beads on these pieces, so when it's time to embellish more, we'll be putting something on those. All right, I think that's, all right, this got moved, so let's see. Let's just put that there for now. All right, so this is, how did I have it? No, I want the leaf. Whoops, let's just go in between this a little bit. And another thing, the closer you get, the more you can manipulate too, like how I want to hide the corners, right? The edges. By fussy cutting, you can manipulate this now. Like I could even put that over there if I want, or I could have stretched it out a little, but I want it, let's see, I want to try to keep it to the frame like that. Why does that, all right, there's still another piece there. Okay. All right, and then this piece, I like the colors on this more. This piece could be added there. But see, that's why I'm not going to glue down, because I might change that to add it over here. And I think I am going to do that. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to cut off this leaf here so it doesn't hide her too much of her arm. So see, like that. And I'm going to keep the leaf for now because I can always add that. Let me, like this. I can either add it, I could add it like that, which I probably will. And then let's see if there's, I really love this here. So I think for one more part, I don't want to do the whole frame in this, but for one more part, I'm going to cut this. All right, so now let's put this aside. And this is what's taking the time, the fussy cutting, but that's okay. All right, so this is actually, this is the wrong, that was the wrong side. Okay. And I could just tell that by this. So, I mean, you could probably, it's so pretty on both sides. I guess it doesn't matter, but I want to keep the colors neutral. So I'm going to leave it on the right side, and I'm just going to, you've seen me fussy cut around it. So I'm just going to do this off camera because it's going to go quicker, I think, if I do it this way. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm just going around the outer edges. There's no way I can go like in between each one of these little dots there. But as long as I can get around the outer edges, I think it'll be okay. So yeah, this is going much quicker than if I was trying to do it in front of the camera. And I'm almost done there. All right, so that will end up being like that. I just cut a little extra just to be sure. Now, I could put it this way, but I think what I want to do is put it there. And I hope it's not too hard to see where the colors are so close together. I hope it's not too hard to see that. Okay. So I am going to do what I say not to do. Whoops. I'm going to glue some down because it's after 30 minutes. So I want to finish this up quick. So what I'm going to, I'm like 99% sure that this is how it's going to stay. And if it doesn't, then I'll just show you how to take whatever off that you need to take off if you do glue it down and change your mind. So let me take this leaf out and bring this down a little bit, and let's glue this down. Because I do want to glue it down before I end the segment. All right, and I'm going to start right about there. Right about there. And you just want to cover up, you want to just be over the end of the photo. All right, let's bring it this way. And this little rubber, if you're using rubber, it helps if you have a little bit of excess glue. You can you can put it right under there, and so you don't have a lot of glue showing. All right, so we're gonna have to go upside down for a minute so I can do this. And this, I am going to fold that over a little bit. And let's get that piece of fiber out of there. Press that down. And finish this off. And I went off track there a little bit. Okay. There. And I'll just cut off the excess, which ended up being not too much. Okay. Let's turn it around again. Let me move this and that. Okay. Oh, I don't like that clump of glue there, though. Another thing you can do, get the fibers off the, if you go with your glue gun and melt the glue right there, that takes the clump away. There. All right. Whoops. So we'll start with this. And because I'm only 99% sure, if you saw my other, when I was working on my other one, I'm just going to glue, barely glue this down so that if I do end up taking it off, so I just put one little dot under here, this little flower, and one little dot in the middle of this flower, okay? And then I want to put this leaf right here to hide the corner, where I cut that off. So that's definitely going to be hidden. So I'll put a little bit more glue on this because that's gonna stay anyway. Okay. And then for this one, I'm going to just cut off one tiny more piece of that netting. I'm going to see exactly where I want it. So I'm sure, no, okay, it wants to go this way a little more. Let's move that up a little bit. Is that where I wanted it? Or actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this leaf off. And this is a good way to show you how you can manipulate them to fit your frame. Okay, so I'm going to place it again first though. So that's going to go like that. And then the leaf will go like that. And that covers up more of the frame. And then this will go under there. Although it still has to look like it's attached. So let's take that off. I took the stem off. And then that will fit better like that. Okay. So let's just glue the middle of this flower down. That keeps that there. And then just this flower. And that keeps that there. And then a little bit on the leaf. All right, that keeps that there. And then this piece, you probably can't see the netting, but I can, and it's bugging me. So let me just get a little bit more off, and I'll feel better about that. Okay. And then this. All right. All right, so we're going to take the stem off of this too, so I can change the direction of how I put that. So there. So that fits it better. Okay. So just a little bit under the flower for now. And we'll do a little bit, tiny dot here and a tiny dot for that flower. And that will hold it in place. Can always glue some of this down after. And that's it. So that is as much as I'm going to do today. If I think of something else to do on here, we'll do that in part 4, along with getting to the inside of the book. I'm going to need something to finish this off. I'm definitely going to put clay flowers, maybe a couple bling pieces, but that I'm not going to do until towards the end, so that when I'm working on the inside pages, it doesn't drag. Like if I've got it open and those rhinestones are going to drag on the table. So I'm going to wait on that. But that's another fun part too. Just keep adding layers and layers. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the series, that makes me really happy. And that's why I'm doing it. And I hope you'll leave me a comment. Let me know that you are following along. And let me know if you're trying to make a book, if you haven't ever made one, or if you're going to in the future, because that helps me to know what's going on too. And you can see how nice and shabby that looks on all along the edges of the book now, and nothing's even been done to the inside yet. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with part 4, because tomorrow's Monday and I'll have some free time. So bye for now.